And if it doesn't offend you,
service, sir.
you're involved.
Do you really believe our plan can succeed?
You'll need a big dose of luck, but I think it might just work. Normally, careful preparations would be underway by now, arranging for the silver to be split up and moved to several locations, various safety measures, evaluation of all possible risks, but we don't have time for that.
What are we going to use Sigismund's silver for?
Don't count your chickens before they've hatched, lad. If you really do get your hands on the silver, you need to get away with it first. As far as possible. Margrave Jobst will find some use for it, or do you have any other suggestions?
If we have a chance to raise an army against Sigismund, we should spend the whole lot on it.
Yes. I think Jobst will share your opinion. And hopefully, it'll be enough.
Lady Rosa seemed right at home during von Burgov's interrogation.
That she did. She really is her father's daughter. She has her late mother's beauty. God grant her eternal peace. Had she been born a boy, Rutard would have had an heir other men could only dream of.
Do you also find it strange how quickly von Burgov turned his coat and started helping us?
Indeed I do, but there are several likely explanations. The king's position in the country is even more precarious than we thought, and his allies are leaving him in ever greater numbers.
But what would von Burgov stand to gain if Sigismund returned to Hungary?
That I do not know, and I fear the day we find out, because if I know one thing about Otto, it's that he never acts recklessly.
How does von Burgov seem to you? He's not nearly as threatening now.
W dupie mam Bergowa. Ale ta dzierlatka, którą ukrywał w wieży, piękna, młoda, wzór cnót niewieścich. Gdy jednak zaciągniesz...
She Ruthard's daughter, you
Tym lepiej! Myśmy ją przecież oswobodzili.
Is he talking about Rosa?
He just say she is a very fine lady.
So, have you got the...
You take.
Thanks, Janos. What did you think of von Burgov's interrogation?
Oh, well, no blood was spilled. Nobody got taught, if you ask me. It went nice and peacefully.
Isn't it strange how von Burgov suddenly bends over backwards to help us?
Not really. He's a selfish fucker who goes where the wind blows in his favor. Actually, I kinda like that about him.
Is there any chance we could actually pull off this robbery?
Only if everybody does what they're told. You included.
I thought that was water under the bridge.
I'd love to forget that beating, believe me.
Now you sound like some grandpa with one...
Watch that grandpa doesn't tickle your belly with a knife in the night, you cheeky bugger. But hey, let bygones be bygones. But now you have to listen to your elders and betters. Got it?
Have you and Zizka thought about what you're gonna do with the Italian court silver?
I'm not planning that far ahead. I'll think about how many rounds of beer and wenches it'll pay for when I'm sitting on top of it somewhere safe.
Greetings, lad.
What will you do when me and Lady Rosa go to town?
We need to fix ourselves up. We've got some wounded to take care of. We also need to work out some...
Such as?
That Rutard passageway will help us. But it's only the first step. We need to know how the court runs, and then what we'll load the silver onto, and just in case, we need to know escape routes from...
What will happen to von Bergov now?
What do you think? He'll stay here. Pisek, well, he may not be as pretty as Rutard's daughter, but he could get some more useful information out of him.
Who do we have here? I'm sorry.
I hope it's not too comfortable for you here. Just say the word and I'll arrange it so you can sleep down in the cellars.
No need to worry, lad. Being under one roof with Zizka and Kunstadt is torment enough.
I thought people like you would abhor defection.
I'm your hostage. I appreciate being treated well, and I don't hesitate to...
You'll be nothing but a traitor to Sigismund and his people.
If you attempt to steal the silver, you will draw all attention to yourself. Whether you... They will hunt you like vermin. And my so-called betrayal will be the least of their concerns for quite a while.
You pretend to be the Lord of Lords, but had no qualms about taking a defenseless woman prisoner. You should be ashamed.
I would feel more ashamed if I hadn't taken her.
If I learn you laid one finger on her...
Calm down, Sir Knight. I took her to Malashov to make sure There were many in Kuttenberg looking for a way to blackmail or at least humiliate Ruda. And a pretty young daughter like that is the perfect means to that end.
First you have Rutthard imprisoned, and now you're helping his daughter. Why?
Can you imagine? I don't like unnecessary violence. Moreover, that Rutthard girl is a remarkably young lady. And so were you, judging by how much you ask about her.
That's none of your business.
So be it. But I advise you to hold onto her tooth and nail.
I hope she's been treated well. As you say, she is Rutthard's daughter and heiress.
Don't worry. I personally made sure she never wanted for anything.
I'd never have thought it'd be so easy. First Istvan Toth, now you. And tomorrow...
By tomorrow, you may all be dead.
Would you like to know how Istvan died? What it sounded like when he fell out of that window and got smashed on the rocks below the tower.
You seem to be laboring under the naive illusion that you killed a murderer and a fool.
Don't try that tough talk on me.
Afraid of what?
Of not being firmly in charge for once. You have to dance to someone else's tune.
An interesting idea. I will remember it when I am dining with Lord Pisek, and you are picking up crumbs outside somewhere.
An evening just created for a nice stroll, eh?
Not as lovely as you, my lady.
Oh, if Papa heard you.
It looks like the two of us will be going to Kuttenberg alone.
I can hardly wait.
How do we even get inside Rutthard Palace?
Like I said, through the underground.
Well, I suppose by now I ought to know you don't have back doors here.
You are in mining country, you know. There's more going on here below ground than above.
How will I find the entrance this time? From the position of some cross again?
No, I'll guide you this time. It's just below the walls. You only need to know where to turn.
Aren't you looking forward to going home?
When they captured power, Van Bergov's people came to Rutthard Palace.
Did they do anything to you?
No, I wasn't harmed. But before they took me away, they ransacked the place. It's likely Vavak took our home for himself. He's always threatened to do that.
You can try. When we free your father, Rutthard Palace will be yours again.
I hope so. But that's still far from certain.
Are you ready to go?
There's no point in dallying.
All right, let's go.
Well, here we are. I'm not keen on going into that darkness.
Are you afraid?
Of the dark? Me? I'm not a little girl. But God knows what we'll find inside. Especially at the far end.
I'll be with you. If anything happens, just stay behind me and...
Ah, my hero! But since I'm the one who knows the way... Usually there's only a small trickle running through here. The water must have risen.
How far away is it anyway?
Soon there'll be a fork, and from there it's only a short distance. You'll see.
And where does the passageway end?
In the cellar, conveniently enough. It's always best to arrive inconspicuously. Oof, startled me. Anyway, what's Lord Capon's problem with underground passageways? When I mentioned it at Sukdol, he looked like he was about to faint.
When we were defending the Barkov, he got buried under the rubble from a demolished tower.
Oh my god!
He was lucky to survive it. I still remember him calling for help. He was scared to death. There was nothing we could do. That's when he was captured by von Bergov. Since then, he's not comfortable with tight spaces.
Sorry. I was a silly goose to bring it up. Damn. I didn't count on it being so deep.
Everything all right?
No. Don't you see how deep it is ahead of us?
I can't swim myself. But it's quite shallow water. You'll see.
Shallow or not, would you seriously let a lady wade waist deep in cold water?
Well, what's to be done? I'll carry you over.
Don't worry, though. I'm not some fragile petal. Well, you said it was hardly knee-deep. This is not how one carries a lady, you barbarian.
Maybe not in Kuttenberg, but it's how we did it in Skalitz.
But it's not very comfortable.
Ah, just grin and bear it, my lady. We're almost there.
I don't think you'd be welcome at a royal court, but I am dry, so I thank you.
Oh, Sakura! I hear voices. Looks like we've got company. And not welcome company, I reckon.
Look at all this mess. I can hardly recognize this place.
This doesn't look like the work of Avax people. More like city rabble and beggars.
They're acting like they own. If Pa were to see this, we must get rid of them.
What do you mean, get rid of them?
You killed most of von Bergov's garrison at Malashov, and now you...
My. How quickly Lady Rosa can change her mind. What's the difference between those ragamuffins?
But this is our home. Our property.
You're right. We have to get rid of them. But maybe it can be done without violence. I'll go and see who they are and what to do about them. Right. Here we go.
Wait a moment. Do you see this ivy here? It goes all the way up to the window of my chamber. That's where I keep my crossbow. I bet that riffraff didn't find it. If I climb up there, I can cover you from above. Just in case.
If you say so. But if anything happens, hide. Got it?
All right. Now turn around so you can't see up my skirt.
All right then. Here we go. I hope Rosa can aim well.
Someone there! He must be deaf!
And dumb on top of it! Get him!
Now you're gonna get it!
Sakura! Rosa!
Do it!
Could you... Rosa!
Quick! Kill him!
You wanna try me?
Show your stuff!
I've been waiting for you.
Are you alright?
I am. For now. Are you all right, Henry? I think I hit one too.
You're a good shot. Capon and Kabianka wouldn't believe their eyes.
Thanks.
Is something wrong?
Someone's trying to break through the door.
Oh, damn it.
Be careful.
Load your crossbow, and if they get inside before I get there, shoot them.
I barricaded the door.
They left no stone unturned. What a mess.
Goodbye.
Show your stuff.
Take that. Will you open?
What was that?
Rosa? It's me.
Henry, are you all right?
I'm in one piece.
Are they gone? All of them?
Aye. It's over.
All right. I'll let you in. You can come in now.
So, here we are. Welcome home.
It doesn't feel much like home anymore. They were behaving like animals in.
Don't worry about the mess. Our boys will happily clean up once they get here. We owe you that.
The mess is the last thing on my mind. There was my mother's silver, my brother's hunting trophies, and my books. It's all gone.
Right. We've got a lot of work to do, but we'll get there. You'll see.
That's true. You know, Henry, I want to ask you something. And I want an honest answer, all right? If everything were to go wrong at the Italian court and, God forbid, would you still try to rescue my father? Even if it meant putting stealing the silver in jeopardy?
The lives of allies are obviously the most valuable asset to us. Without their support, the silver would be useless anyway.
Not to mention, it wouldn't last you.
Don't worry. We'll either leave the Italian court with the lords, or
not at all.
if our plan succeeds and your father is freed, do you know what will come next?
I try not to think about it.
Why?
If you get the king's silver, my father and I will have to hide. Leave the region, go somewhere out of Sigismund's men's reach, and you and I will have to part ways.
Maybe it won't be necessary. As soon as Jobst and his troops arrive, you'll be safe again.
Maybe. But your duties are elsewhere. Capon's estate is in Rottai. Why should my father and I stay here anyway? What do we have left?
be all right.
My father would clap you in irons for that.
And for this.
Oh, it seems you know how a lady should be carried.
Where to, ma'am? I don't see any rivers, ditches, or puddles to cross.
Dami castitatem e continentiam, sed non limoro. Forward, Sir Knight.
I see you're already here. How was the journey? Did you run into any trouble?
No, it actually went quite well. Brabant wouldn't shut up, though. Credit where credit's due. He really helped in Malishov. That hit to the gate came at just the right time. And we'd have dropped like flies if not for his men. But sometimes, I feel like letting something blow up next to my head, too. I'd be more interested in hearing what happened here yesterday. When we got here, it was like a pigsty.
Some local beggars set up a lair in here. We had to get rid of them somehow.
What about Rosa? Doesn't she regret coming too?
I'm lucky she was here with me. That shot fella in the courtyard, her handiwork.
Really? Nice shot. Anyway, I told the men to get rid of the bodies and clean up the place a little.
Quite the contrary, I think.
How did it go with Vavak, anyway?
Well, after everything that happened, I didn't want to leave Rosa here by herself. I'll have to go and see him now.
I understand. But go and see him as soon as possible. We won't get it.
My respects.
Stop gaping and clear off. Hey, what the hell are you looking for?
Master Vavak is busy.
What are you on about? I can clearly see you two aren't Vavak's men.
How could you possibly know, eh?
Vavak's guards wear his crest. A golden come clean. Whose back are you watching? Some thieves?
No thieves. Christian of Pisek is visiting.
The steward of the Royal Mint.
Christian of Pisek? I know him. If he's here, I want to talk to him.
Hey, should we believe him
Why not let him go? He's alone. If anything happens...
Please, come in.
Not a soul around. Very odd.
What the? Henry? How the hell did you get in here?
That pair watching the door let me in.
I might have known. One's an idiot, and the other a twit. I'll have to find someone better.
Where is Vavak?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Surely you can't have just vanished.
I know for a fact you won't find him in town. And he's probably not hiding anywhere nearby either.
Shit. How long has he been gone?
A few days now. He took the money from his secret mint and disappeared at night.
Has no one been looking for him?
No. He'd occasionally be gone from the Italian court for weeks on end. What's a few days compared to that?
What are you actually looking for here?
Vavak's papers, especially ones with my name on them. I can't have people from the court finding evidence of my connection to the secret enterprise.
Did Vavak take the Mint Master's key with him?
Well, if he had any sense left, he'd leave it here.
Why's that?
No one will be looking for the coin from the secret enterprise. But if it turned out Vavak had disappeared with the treasury key, the whole court would be after him. Unfortunately, Vavak...
What's to be done? Damn it. I wanted to talk to Vavak about it, but me and you are going to have to sort it out. The question is, whether I can trust you.
Excuse me? I took a big risk to help you last time, and
Only this time, the risk is even bigger.
Risk, you say? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say. And I like gains. Talk to me then. It can't hurt to try. The worst that might happen is I won't help you.
All right. But your life depends on nobody finding out about it.
Ah, don't worry. My life was at stake last time, and we're both still here.
I hope so. Me and a few others want to rob the treasury in the Italian court.
What? My word! I was bracing myself.
Calm down, for God's sake. I know how it sounds, but we've got a good reason and a good plan. We just need a little help getting inside. That's what I need Vavak for. But he's not here now.
I hardly think the dirt we have on him would be enough to make Vavak do something as crazy as that. Well, it's true. I owe you. For keeping your lips sealed. But this is a bloody dangerous business.
Think about it. Vavak's gone, and if we succeed, Sigismund won't have any coin to pay his army. He'll go back to Hungary without appointing a new mint master. That will be your chance.
I can't deny it. All right? Let's say I'll help you. But there's one thing we have to be clear about. If it all goes wrong and the slightest shadow of suspicion falls on me, I'll spill the beans about the secret mint. And I'll blame it all on you. You know a lot, and you'll...
Well, all right then.
I'm glad we understand each other. So, what exactly is your plan?
We'll get into the church council meeting as the legate's retinue.
The legates?
We'll make it nice and clear to the Cardinal that he'd be wise to cooperate with us. And while he's gabbing on in the meeting, we'll get to work in the guise of retinue.
For Christ's sake! Do you really think nobody will recognize you? Do any of you even speak Italian?
In any case, it'd be wise to have someone at the meeting who can make sure the legate doesn't do anything stupid. We'll be keeping an eye on him, of course, but it'd be better to have a local on hand as well. And that would be your job.
Well, how can I put it? If you manage to get to Cardinal Pozzo and persuade him to help you, take you with him to the Italian court, not give anything, and lastly, make it through the entire council without shitting himself, I'll walk barefoot to Rome myself.
Yeah, very droll. So will you help us or not?
I can turn a blind eye to someone sneaking around the courtyard, or reassure anyone at the council who notices something is off. And what will your lot do in the meantime?
We'll free all the lords held captive at the court.
I couldn't help you with that even if I wanted to. and I'd advise you to give up on that. Getting the silver alone will be hard enough as it is. Anything else?
Some of them will dig a tunnel into the court cellars from outside. That's how we'll get the silver out.
Clever. There's a whole labyrinth under the Italian court. But breaking through will take a lot of effort. And after that?
That's all you need to know. We just need you.
Very well then.
Now I just need to find Vavak's key. Have you seen it?
No, the only thing I found Vavak left is this letter. Here, take it. Maybe it'll help you. And Henry, don't forget, I'll help you. But I can't afford to be under any suspicion.
Count on me. And thank you.
Save the thanks, and let me get to work. Who the hell is that?
Keep close to the others.
Well, that really is disgusting. Fuck you, Vavak, wherever you are.
Morning, Henry.
About that night when we were alone here.
What about it?
Well, I thought maybe you want to talk about it.
Do you think there's anything?
Well, what's next for us?
Nothing. I'm Lord Rutard's daughter. Our name still means a lot, despite all the trouble we're in. When my pa is free and an opportunity presents itself, I'll have to get married.
Has your father already picked a groom for you?
Not yet. But if I'm lucky, I'll marry a young nobleman and soon bear him a bunch of children. And if I'm really lucky, they'll find me some old man who'll...
A husband, kids...
Does it seem like I have a choice? I can't just go and become somebody's squire like you. As my father's sole heiress, I have 3 options. Marriage, a nunnery, or jumping off the battlements.
Surely you're not serious about that last one, are you?
Of course not. Our plan may very well fail. Why throw something nice away prematurely?
Well, if that's how you feel. Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting life.
Bien sûr.
Where does the name Brabant come from?
That is simple. My compatriots call me that because I am originally from Brabant province. One day, I shall tell you about my place of birth. Or would you rather hear how I saved the king?
Arezzo sounds interesting.
And so it was. That is where I earned mine. Enguerrand arranged his force. Out of nowhere, the enemy appeared. But I saw a gap in the enemy's... Un chevalier...
I reckon King Sigismund would think...
That was complete. Alors, I caught them by surprise. My attack sowed confusions in the enemy's rank. And that is how we won the famous victory at Arezzo. No doubt you had no inkling at Maleshov what a knight you had the honor to meet.
A bold maneuver.
Quite right. Just as Monsieur Chapon says, our Dantes...
So, you disobeyed your commander and left... Your attack could have ended in a total fiasco.
I hear envy speaking. But in short, I saw an opportunity...
What did your commander have?
He made me a knight and sent me to the royal court to inform the sovereign of our triumph.
I reckon he wanted to get you...
Do not talk nonsense.
What other feats have you performed in battle?
Oh, many, mon ami. It would take a week to recount them all. So, on the Italian field, we faced John Hawkwood, a ruthless English. Surrounded, we were at his... But just then,
Did you set some kind of trap?
Unobserved, I mounted my horse and set off to find help. As I rode away by chance, thinking we were trying to break through. But while the English were occupied with Myceli, our units... I saved many men from certain death that night, and many...
That is indeed. But you were just trying to flee.
I wanted to... But as I say, I merely follow Providence. And she guides my steps. Stick close to me, Henri. On the...
How did you save the King of France?
With Providence as my guide, I came to the court from the field of battle because, and remember this, the bearer of good news, but the king was in a bad mood and maybe I thought the news of our victory.
How could you tell him if...
Ha! I climbed up to his balcony into his chamber and lo and behold, the king was writhing and gasping on, wasting not a moment. I dashed over to him and in return, the king bestowed on me the title of a chanson. Unfortunately, though, even the king's...
What happened at court that...
Well, perhaps I shall tell you some other time.
Tell me what happened at court that caused you to...
A major setback and a gross injustice, mon ami. It is an unhappy...
It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can all learn from our failures.
Oui. I suffered a combination of misfortunes all at once.
Luckery and Cargouche.
En aucun cas. These two great knights were in a legal dispute over an estate. But above all, when she claimed that he had raped her, while he said he had said first, they jousted. Legris thought victory was in his grasp. But de Carouge suddenly... Even so, Legris refused to admit his guilt. And if you promise not to tell...
Tell me the secret.
Bien. As I say, de Carouge killed Legris with a dagger. And I found a blessed blade, an instrument of divine justice. So, I had several copies. That is how I first came into wealth. And I used...
Ha! That was a good idea.
You still have a lot to learn, mon ami. It was one of the greatest things I ever saw, and half of France came to watch, including the king. I later told the story to anyone who was... I could have written it myself, of course.
You were in business?
Of course. I come from Brabant. My birthplace gave me an unrivaled nose for corn. That is, until I persuaded an important nobleman all the ships he bought sank in a tempest. Of course, he wrongly blamed me for it, but my advice was sound. He was simply punished by God for fornicating. I told him as much, but some people never admit their mistakes.
A sea voyage from France to Africa? You must have known that was a massive...
A risk, perhaps. A man must think big if he wants to achieve...
Big ideas. Storms, pirates, sea... You should have tried the Baltic trade route.
You are right. But that is under Hanseatic control. Africa, mon ami, that is the land of opportunity. The Arabs sell to the Portuguese. Just imagine selling further and trading directly with... Remember this?
What was the hunting incident?
We were out in the royal hunting ground. There had long been rumors about it, so I set off after it. When I arrived, it turned out that my aunt had not killed... I fell out of her...
You were damned unlucky. That could have happened to any...
Quite right. A misfortune like that which could... But the other lords were...
Tell me about Brabant province.
Quite far. From Bohemia you would go, then you sail down Anvers, Brussels, above the Dukes of Burgundy and the Imperial Princes, but like everywhere else.
How did you end up here?
Leaving the court with a modest sum. I traveled a lot, spending time. When I learned that l'Empereur Charles...
So people in...
Bien sûr. I bought the abandoned Misk, and for a time I said, but even here, for how bad victory was stripped of my...
Sir Vaclin, I'm surprised how well you speak our language.
Where do you think? Here, of course. Perhaps I have already mentioned that I am guided. I can communicate. Almost, I now speak French, German, Italian.
Thanks for sharing your story. What do you think of our band of out...
Well, I cannot say I expected to end up in this kind of company. But a man must accept his destiny.
What do you think of Zizka?
Le Chevalier Jan? Well... he's not doing badly for a minor nobleman, but that takes a lot more. Mark my words.
I can't get Catherine out of my head. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me. What do you make of her?
Ah, you're right. But for my tastes, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat age vintage. Though...
That's not really what I meant. Why is a woman like her with us?
Là est la question. I had the feeling something terrible happened to her.
So do I. But what?
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people.
What do you think of Sir Hynek?
Ah, le diable sec. A capable chevalier. But I do not trust him. There is treachery in his eyes.
You think so?
My instinct...
How do you get on with Janos?
Oh, those two. Once in Gothenburg, I also had a servant who pretended not, but he was wrong. He's no...
How do you get on with Sir Hans?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced and hot-headed at times, but he's the one of the few here. Needless to say, he has not managed. Godwin and Jessica can also... and that
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. In addition, he can play chess, and in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen.
Have you had the chance to meet my half-brother?
Samuel. It is strange that he joined your... our group. It is not usual for his, people.
What do you think of Kubienka?
A good warrior, but he has no morals and no manners.
I don't think he cares.
And that is just the problem.
Tell me, how did the siege of Kuttenberg go?
Ah, mon ami, poorly. After all, I had to live up to my reputation. And at the time, I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for a while before...
Only no arm...
Précisément. The hope for a swift end melted away. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved of...
What other countries have you fought in?
In Italy. In the meantime, however,
I'd like to learn.
It will take some time, acquiring my art, especially now. So, what would you like to know?
Baron Brabant?
Mon ami, so what to choose from that opportunity? Remember, allons-y, mon...
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remark. He rambles on a lot, though. My head, although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and, well, if a little obsessed with...
I agree. And he's got a score to settle with.
He certainly has.
What happened when von Bergov hauled you off after the Nabat?
It was a dreadful journey. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was traveling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit.
What did they do with you in Mal?
Nothing much. They took care of my wounds, but they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Only I almost went mad from being cramped.
What was the problem with
That I couldn't get out of there. It's just that since Nabar... Actually, I never did. I had a feeling...
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the name...
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle, and above all...
Great. I'll really look...
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
They didn't let you out at all?
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit, but most of the time we were in... Like I say, I'm real...
What did von Bergov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they could just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Yot.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit.
My word. Well, the main thing is... you're...
Indeed.
I'd like to learn...
It will take acquiring, especially now when... What would you like to hear?
As a knight...
Certainly, I would only... Allons-y, mon...
I'd like to...
It will acquiring, especially so.
Sir Vac...
You will never... Allons-y, mon...
I'd like to...
It will acquire especially so.
When we were fleeing...
On my travel, so pay... Allons-y, mon...
Schönen Tag.
How about trying...
What game would you like?
Courtiers from it?
Let's play.
Auf geht's. I'm very curious about you. It's a good thing you don't throw like that all the time. Das ist nicht möglich. Das ist einfach nicht möglich. You won. The money's yours. Are you being cautious or cowardly?
I was at the Mint Master's place.
Hold on, everybody. Well, how did it go? Do you have the key?
Aye, I've got it.
but it stinks a bit.
Quel puanteur! Put it away.
What about the mint master?
Vavat got out of the town, but in his house I met Christian of Pisek, the steward of the... He promised to help us if we get in a tight spot.
Can we trust him?
I think so. He owes me. But he's afraid they'd know if he was involved.
Did he tell you anything interesting?
Nothing at all.
Let's get to the point. We must have everything ready before Catherine returns from, especially the way through to the court.
I should say so. If I'm going to send my men, I have to know exactly...
That'll be your job, Henry. And Brabant's going with you.
Excuse-moi? Why should I?
Because you've been telling us you know the Kuttenberg underground like the...
And I do, but not firsthand. Only from mind maps and draw. Nobody will let men of my stat...
What exactly are we supposed to do in that cellar?
Get as far as you can, and mark the spot where Brabant's men will start digging.
I see. Why do I feel like that sounds a bit too easy?
Well, we have no idea what's really down there.
Come now. Surely you do not...
Rutard's daughter will tell you more. She came up with this part of the plan.
Where are the others, anyway?
They heard there was work to be done, so...
Did you do the work of 3, eh? At least with your mouth.
They're getting some wagons so we can move the silver. If Pisak wasn't lying, there's...
If Brabant doesn't want to go into the tunnels, I'll go with someone else.
With Ruthd's daughter, eh? One night wasn't enough for you.
I meant with somebody like Sam.
Oui.
Why not? Maybe the cold down there will cool his hot head.
What will you lot do in the meantime?
We'll be doing the planning. We've got to bring those captured... They'll just sit tight till we give them back their legate, and then we'll let them all go.
The main thing is keeping Godwin away from the booze. Or we'll have no way of talking to the gents from Rome.